Sir Tristram, Danehill Dancer and Zabeel all started their stallion careers at low-priced fees, rising to prominence and higher prices as their offspring dominated the racetracks. Kitchwin Hills stallion Dane Shadow looks to be following that similar path, and if his early results continue, he too may rise all the way to the top. Angus Rowlands takes up the story.
Dane Shadow is off to a flyer at stud. The brown son of Danehill and champion filly Slight Chance was always popular with his owners, but with his oldest crop being just 3-year-olds, the breeding industry is now sitting up and taking notice. A proliferation of 2-year-old winners flowed from Dane Shadow's initial offspring, but in the first 3-year-old stakes race of the 2009 season, Dane Shadow got the black-type victory that had previously eluded him, as Shellscrape cruised to victory in the San Domenico Stakes.
You couldn't have asked for a better start to his 3-year-old career. You know, he's gone out and in a race that, you know, it's a time-honoured race, and I think people really respect the form out of the San Domenico. And yeah, what can I say? He's you know, probably no one really expected Shellscrape to be his banner horse, including Chris Waller, but he is, and he just shows the constitution of the horse by the way he's headed to Queensland, and he won those 2 races very impressively, and they set the horse to come back to Sydney and be, you know, competitive with this sort of Sydney form, leading into his 3-year-old carear. And yeah, he's very tough. He's been up for a while now, but yeah, he won it well. We're very happy.
But Dane Shadow is by no means a one-trick pony. Shellscrape is ably supported by a host of other top-class horses.
The horses like Shadow Assassin, he's nearly the forgotten horse. Like he couldn't do any better in his 2 starts. So, you know, he won very impressively, and then he just got held up in the Magic Millions, ran 4th, but it was a slashing run. You know, and I know that Alan Bailey's got a really nice filly up there that he's got a good opinion of. And
Dane Shadow's early performers have vindicated a long-held opinion by the team at Kitchwin Hills.
They're easy horses to like. You know, they're very athletic types, and they're lovely bone. They walk well. They're just horses that they're easy to prep for from our point of view, and they don't seem to have many troubles as far as you don't have to do a lot of surgery on them as foals, and obviously, you know, from a trainer's point of view, they're easy to train. So yeah, no, it's rewarding. I just can't tell you how rewarding it is that for Kitchwin Hills to stand one horse and for him to jump out like he has, and you know, the whole game's a gamble, but it's one that's paid off for us.
It comes as no surprise that since his runners hit the track, Dane Shadow's book has improved both in terms of numbers and quality of broodmares.
The quality has definitely gone up. Like it's the young mares that now are looking to come. You know, I could go through them all, but like Larry Use is a mare. Asian Reef will go to him this year, who's the dam of Bonhoeffer, half sister to Holy Roman Emperor. Shady Henrietta, who is a half sister to Take Over Target. Predatory Price, even old Beam, New Haven Park have been big supporters. They're sending 10 mares, you know, that and one Beam's a half sister to Mannington, and it's just the quality's huge, you know. The phone didn't stop ringing, and we decided very early in the piece that we would limit his book. We just don't want to. I think everybody can get an opportunity to get an earn if you don't go out there and serve, you know, huge numbers of mares. So we sort of started that we were going to serve 130, 140. Well, that number's now 150, and we are adamant we're not serving any more. He's full, but a few of the guys that own shares in the horse have still retained some of their nominations for they don't have enough mares to fill those noms of their of what they've retained in the stand. So those sort of horses now. Those sort of mares are still, there might be an opportunity for the odd mare, you know, 5 or 10 mares, but we're just going to keep a close watch on what mares ring up and take the best of them.
As testament to his temperament, the transition from racehorse to stallion for Dane Shadow has been an easy assignment.
He's a settled horse. He as you can see, he's a big, strong forward type, and probably in saying that too, if you looked at him when he first came home, he sort of looked like a horse that might have got better with a bit of time because he matured so well. You know, he grew into quite a big, strong horse, and yeah, he handles the job well. He's in the barn. He's great fertility. He's virile. He handles himself well in the barn, and you know, this is going to be his biggest year ever, so we hope he can continue to do what he's done over the last 3 years, but I can't see why there'd be any problems with him. Yeah, so no, he handles it well.
As a one-stallion stud, Kitchwin Hills is happy to be able to give a horse of Dane Shadow's calibre its full attention. and are bullish about the elements that the son of Danehill brings to the table.
We always thought we'd stand a stand at some point. It probably came a bit earlier than we expected, but Graham Mapp and Gino Liera, who owned the major share in the horse, asked us to we talked to them about standing him, and I went up to Queensland and had a look at him, and originally when we saw him we were rapt. He's as you can see, he's a horse with a lot of centane through him, but also he's by the side of Danehill, who we know is so prolific in Australia. And we never really want to get into standing numbers of stallions, but we definitely want to look to stand a horse next to him. But one or two horses, I think, for us is where we'll be. We won't be looking to move on to any major numbers of stallions. We've got a great clientele base that year in, year out, they continue to buy quality mares, and we're rapt to have them here at Kitchwin. It's like mares like Vormista and Gallant Tess and Stripper and those type of mares that, along with our old, super mares like La Baraka and Asian Reef and those sorts of mares. So, like the list goes on. It's amazing just wandering around, and every foal that foals here, you look forward to it because there's such quality mares and great clients to ring. So I think that probably is good for us in the fact that we can stand a horse that, and we never really want to push the stand that we stand onto those mares because they're quality, and we want to do the right thing by them. But like a horse like Dane Shadow, he's putting his hand up and he's demanding those quality mares now, and that's sort of where we hope to stay on that sort of line.
The first two generations of Dane Shadow's pedigree may be impressive, but Mick Malone is just as excited by a colonial element deeper in the pedigree, and one that is still prevalent today.
I think you're seeing a fair bit of prolific vein in quality racehorses of late. That that you see the Bel Esprit when he seems to cross with a good quality vein mare. It's amazing how many times they sort of hit the track running. And I do think that vein is a big part of Dane Shadow's pedigree. And if I was to say anything, that even in Shell Scrape, there's a double cross of vein via Dane Shadow and via Kisma, his dam. I do think it's been a pretty quality cross, and it's something that we'll continue to really aim to put to Dane Shadow mares with a bit of vein, definitely on the second and third line of betting. At the end of the day, it's easy to say now, but when you've got the horse standing in your backyard, you're the biggest screamer for him. But he's by Danehill, who we know is terrific. He was early, fast 2-year-old. And he probably just raced against horses that, I'm not saying he was better than them, but he was right there with some of probably the best 2-year-old crop we've seen. And out of slight chance, well, there's probably not a stallion out of a better race mare at stud. And so like all those things put together, to me, it's not a no-brainer, but he definitely deserved the opportunity that the breeders and Kitchwin Hills have given him.